The Halo campaign evolved sales are in, and my god, it is a complete disaster. The sales are so bad, in fact, we can refer to them as zero, and we would still be more right than wrong at this point. And I just want to say one thing. Well, Xbox, was it worth it? Was it worth it owning the Chuds? Because I'm not gonna lie, personally, boys, I don't exactly feel owned for some reason. They did all of this. They threw out fiscal viability, fans, everything, in a stupid, vain attempt to just be woke and own the Chuds. And they couldn't even manage that. So, boys, one last time, do it for me. We will say goodbye to Girl Boss.
You don't seem as impressed as the rest of your crew.
No, Sergeant Major, I'm not.
So brave. She's so brave.
Takes more than fancy armor and a good PR campaign to impress me.
She has bigger balls than me. Probably and ironically.
That said, we do have our thanks. It's been rough out here to say.
So reliable, so likable. I mean, how did this game not sell 10 million copies, you are probably wondering.
At least. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to fast forward the pleasantries and skip to the part where we get the hell off this ship.
Stay to the point. That's my Girl Boss, boys. That is Girl Boss. Oh, yes. In any case, we have new news that Halo Campaign Evolve has reportedly sold around 1.2 million copies in the first 2 weeks, according to estimates from Alina Analytics. Around 42% sales were on Xbox, 41 PlayStation, 17 Steam, getting roughly 67 million in sales. The game also had around 2.1 million players throughout Game Pass, so a large number of players played it without buying it. On Steam, about 232,000 copies were sold, with roughly 80% of those players already having played Halo Master Chief Collection. Source, Alina Analytics. And you have multiple people saying this. This one even has a neat little graphic. And this is completely false. Alina Analytics has been recently going the rounds as something that a lot of people use as a source for game sales, and they're bullshit. They are, first of all, they have no official source, they have no official anything, and they are doing just effectively some very simple math to get these numbers. In fact, it's so simple that I actually know what they're doing. And because I know what they're doing, I can tell you it's incorrect. Because it was very interesting for me to see this. They are effectively just doing the classic yet fantastic add a zero, and there you go, that's your sales, which has been actually pretty accurate for a very long time. And this explains the Steam stuff, and then they are just applying 10% plus minus as a value of error margin. So that's the Steam numbers. You know why this is, you know how I know this? Because 17% of 1.2 million is actually in the 10% error margin of 25k peak players. That's how I know that they're doing this. The math checks out. It always does. And then they are using some either there's two options for what they're doing with the PlayStation and Xbox sales numbers. They're either using some antiquated numbers that were made by using games that people primarily always historically played on PlayStation or PC and not on Steam. And this is how they have this 41% PlayStation, 42% Xbox margin. Like, on a purely logical level, you know how I can know that this is completely fucking made up bullshit? It's the fact that, do you really believe that Halo, the literal thing that made that made Xbox, one of the literal Xbox flagship title to a degree, has only 1% more players on Xbox than PlayStation. Like, come on, let's be real. There is no world where where the PlayStation players for Halo are even remotely close to the Xbox one. Halo is the reason Xbox fans exist, and now you're telling me PlayStation is equal to Xbox? There's no way. This just logically completely doesn't track, obviously. And when you look at these numbers, when you actually look at this number right here in the 70%, it actually checks out that they have literally used just the percent distribution from some article to PlayStation and Xbox and just use the same formula as for Steam. So, Elite Analytics has been wrong on pretty much everything that I have seen them. Recently, a lot of people are starting to use this as a source for sales, which is complete bullshit again. I personally do not think that Halo has even sold 500k copies yet. We still are waiting for the numbers. Maybe they have, but again, not even close to a fucking million at this point. And the game is changing. Previously, you could have added a 0 to the peak all time number, and you would have been relatively close. But now, because of things like 007 First Light and whatnot, the game's a little bit of changing, so it's a lot more front-heavy loaded. So this 250 can easily be more closer to 400 or even 500, depending on how people want it, because the hype of the first day is just so much more massive than it was for every game than it was like a year or two ago. Because now people, because of channels like me, other people, articles, and so many other sources, like even Twitter and whatnot. People, if they're interested in a game, they are very well informed about what do they want to buy it or not. So the people who want to buy a game buy it on day one because they have already done the research. The hype is absolutely out of the world, okay? And this is it. There have been already cases where Elite Analytics have made predictions on how many players the game has, and they have been completely wrong. And by the way, I mean they have already been proven to be wrong in the 50th percentile of margin of error, which is fucking insane, by the way. You might as well just throw dice at that point to estimate something. It is really, really, really absolutely wait. On Steam about yeah. Was that, by the way, no, it wasn't the release. Okay. Okay, I was looking at this number for a moment. But still, again, this is a very untrustworthy source, honestly. And I just want to say how absolutely insane this is. Because there's no way. Halo has crashed. It probably was in the ballpark of 100 to 150 million budget-wise, and this is what we get. I'm sorry that we're going to be using the Act Man, but it is what it is. Look at this.
Well, they're all broken. It's just... Oh!
Yes, he's standing on the rock. Halo decided to do the Bethesda approach and make rocks safe spaces and havens, which is true for every Fallout except 76. No, Fallout 4 also gave range to attacks to a bunch of things, so they can hit you off rocks.
He got a foot up here. Oh, he jumped. Oh, so close.
Yeah, this is the quality of game that we're talking about, okay? And this was supposed to sell 1.5 million copies? My god, no. And also, a very interesting thing that I noticed when looking into this video. So, when you go into the most played Xbox things, this is their official website, by the way. They don't have real numbers, but we have had previous developers reveal how many players they had in the position on the Xbox store. Granted, I should have saved those articles. I honestly regret that almost every week that I can't find and didn't save those articles. But the numbers are pretty devastating. Effectively, only the first 10 games, these two rows on Xbox Live have actual decent player numbers. Now, granted, Xbox obviously has a lot of players, but you also kind of need to understand how player numbers actually function. If a game has 3,000 players, that can actually, on average, that can actually sometimes be up to 3 million active players daily. Yes, no, well, not daily, but monthly, I should say, probably. I know it's an absurdly large number, and it feels like that, but it sometimes does check that out. But that's honestly the kind of high estimate. So, you know, Xbox has 36 million Game Pass subscriptions or something like that. Halo is free, and currently it is in the 14th position, which is not good. We know that everything below the top 10, well, sometimes they're kind of interchangeable. What happens? Sometimes, obviously, the top 15 can be more or less equalish to the top 10, but usually it's not. Halo Campaign Evolved is currently number 14, with being free on Game Pass day one, and so many other things. It's insane. And Xbox obviously being the majority platform where people should be playing it technically because it's a pure Xbox thing. On the first day, we looked at Halo Campaign Evolved and how it was doing in the most played. You know what was strange? It was strange because it was here. It was roughly somewhere here at the bottom of the first page, which is the top 50th, and barely made it even there, which was very, very, very peculiar and interesting, honestly. And now it's actually in the 14th position, which is kind of a little bit sus, honestly, I guess. But at the end of the day, hey, Halo's at least doing better than Marathon. Marathon's officially, by the way, under 4K players. That is wild. Well, at least we can have some fun there. And, I mean, listen. It always can be worse. This just happened today, by the way. I saw this news. Halo's legendary music composer just got tossed from an event for being Republican. Absolute cinema. So, it can always get worse. It can always get more despicable and demonic, honestly, with these people. But yeah, that's it. That's about it. I don't know why people are using this. This is, by the way, not even the first fucking company that does this. We had 2 years ago, there was also some kind of company, I think it was different. I think it was a different name than this, that also did the rounds and claimed that it knows the sales numbers. And every time we knew sales numbers, they got completely wrecked. And your boy was proven more true. Now, granted, again, currently we are still in a place where I personally don't feel too great on saying the sales numbers, because I still feel like I don't have enough information at this point after the 007 change to name them. But again, there's no world where Halo has even close to 1 million copies sold. Doesn't matter if it's Xbox, PlayStation, or whatever. No fucking way. No way. And PlayStation is obviously not even close to Xbox in numbers of people who want to play it. Like, that's absurd. Anyway, that was it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye. Like the video. Do it right now. Takes less than a second. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Like the video right now. Bye.